Dr. Selfridge and Dr. Coleman. Why don't you share a little bit about what differentiates WAUSM from other schools?
This is actually the fifth medical school that I worked at. And one of the things that we do, obviously, is we have a lot of integration, between the subdisciplines of the basic sciences, but also between the clinical faculty and with the basic scientists as well. So we do a lot of sessions where we will have a lot of mixed, environments with a clinician and myself will be teaching imaging of the heart or some type of a situation like that. Another thing that's interesting for me and my colleague, Dr. Derricott, in anatomy is we really focus on clinically relevant anatomy. And I've taught at so many places where the anatomists just want to make everybody anatomist. They want to teach every tiny little detail, the 14 different attachment points of one little muscle that helps you chew stuff. And it's like, okay, does a physician really need to know that? And so as just one example, I teach the upper and lower extremities, and in total, about 357 different attachment points for all these muscles. So I created a list for our students of 25 clinically relevant attachment points, things that you might see in the actual real world. It's concepts which are highly tested on. So, we're not having our students just spend massive amounts of time studying things that just aren't really applicable for a primary care physician. And if you're going to go into a specialty, a neurosurgery or something, that's something we'll learn about your rotations and in your residencies. And so, we definitely make them prepared to be a well-rounded physician, but we also focus on those things which are highly clinically relevant.
Well, and I could add to that we're really deliberate at making apparent the connections between discipline, facts and content, and clinical presentation of patients. And I think our students might be able to comment on that as well. In traditional medical school, so I also have taught at another medical school in the Caribbean, but also came from University of Wisconsin-Madison, still fairly traditional medical school setting, and there wasn't, with all good intentions, there just wasn't the deliberate connection between basic science and clinical presentation of patients. And we try to do that starting in our very first semester. We work very hard on students to learn clinical reasoning. This isn't just, it isn't a skill that will just come to fruition in your last semester of pre-clerkship medical education before you head off to hospitals.
And you should tell them your background.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just a family doc. Yeah, I practiced family medicine for 26 years before transitioning to medical education full-time. And it was a fantastic background because I really got to see everything in my clinical practice, and it's been a wonderful experience. We believe that our students should be able, at any juncture, any time, any day, be able to say, #make me care about this. In other words, why am I learning this? And we have an obligation to explain why and why it's going to help them in the future with patient care.